Hi everybody, it's Geordie from Geordie Colours, and I am back with part 3 of my full book colour along in R.J.Hampson's Awake. And today we are doing this cute little page which is called Morning Swim. Now RJ has actually already coloured this on his channel, so if you wanted to check out a different version you could go and watch him, and his turned out super cute. I tried to do mine slightly different to the colours that he used so that you had a couple of options if you wanted to change it up a little bit. But yeah, a lot of fun. So I've got my little backing sheet behind here to stop the colour from bleeding through, and I'm using, as always, my Ohuhu alcohol markers. So I'm going to start with his hat and his costume, and I'm doing that in some reds. So I have R6, R8 and R160 here, and we're going to be just doing some simple colouring. Sorry, I'm just grabbing little sheet out here so I remember what I'm doing. Yeah, just some really simple colouring with alcohol markers, as I have done with all the other pages so far in this book. There's 2 I have done, and yeah, just keeping it easy peasy. So let's get started. I am using the Ohuhu Honolulu range, which has got the brush tip, and I like to use the brush tip because I just find it a little bit easier. So I'm gonna start with my darkest marker. I talk about this a little bit in my other videos as well. I always like to start with my darkest marker. Some people do it the opposite way around and kind of lay in the lightest shade first. I prefer to do it this way, but whatever works for you, just go with whatever you feel comfortable with. So I'm going to add a little bit in there so it looks like there's a little bit of a bend in the hat. And I am colouring on my Transitotype Perfect Colouring Paper, which is a cardstock that's designed specifically for alcohol markers, and it makes it really easy to blend. I'm just going to make sure that's in frame. Hopefully you can see that. So I started with my R8, going in with my R6, and what I do is I just kind of go over the edge of that line, and kind of where I left off the previous colour, I just extend it out with the lighter colour, and yeah, just do it that way. It's pretty, like I say, pretty easy peasy colouring. It's nothing strenuous or stressful. Then I go with my lightest marker and I fill up all the rest of the space. And again, I just make sure I kind of blend over where that previous colour was, because it really helps with kind of making the transition a little bit smoother. So alcohol markers work best when they can kind of move around on the paper a little bit, which is why a smooth colouring paper is really the best for alcohol markers, because you need them to kind of blend together. Okay, so that's his little hat done. I'm going to do his swim trunks in red and white as well. So I'm going to use those same red colours. Just move it up slightly. And yeah, we're just going to kind of do them with this. It's a bit tricky to figure out where some of the colours go. And yeah, just going to fill it and have a little bit of fun with this guy. He's so super cute. I just love the images in this book, and I just felt like they were just designed to be coloured with alcohol markers. Now I have made a mistake already. I've noticed my mistake. So I had my shadow on this side for my hat, and now I'm putting the shadow on the wrong side. So we're going to remedy that on the last stripe. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference, but there we go. We'll just make it. These things happen. It doesn't matter. I don't think anyone will notice greatly, but just one to bear in mind, that you should try and keep your light source in one spot and keep your shadows kind of on the same side all the way through. Or you could just do an overhead light and then just have the kind of shadow around the sides, which is sometimes easier to do as well. But it's not the end of the world, don't panic. It'll still look cute. Okay, so I'm just blending that darker colour out. He's so cute, this guy. Oh, I've gone over the edge a bit again, don't worry. This is all about being stress-free, so stress-free colouring. So we don't worry if we make a few mistakes. It's not the end of the world, it really isn't. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit to the ties here and to the kind of waistband. Pull that out a little bit. It's all about having fun and relaxing and just enjoying the colouring process. Okay, so that's the start of his swim trunks. I'm gonna, because I want this to look white, but I don't want it to be stark white, I'm gonna add in some grey. So I'm using CG2, and I know it might seem a little weird adding a bit of grey in, but it just helps kind of make the white look whiter, if that makes sense. So just adding the grey where there would be a little bit of shadow really helps the white kind of pop and make it look like white. So I'm actually just going to add a little touch down the edges here as well. Go over that bit. So you can see when you go over colour that you've bled over, it can kind of, if you can push that colour out again. If you use the colourless blender, you've got to use it carefully because it can push the colour out from everywhere. But if you go over the lines and you want to get rid of that colour, you can use the colourless blender to kind of push it back out again. Okay, I'm going to keep it like that. That's pretty simple, but yeah, we'll leave his shorts like that. That's his shorts done. I'm going to go in, because I've got this grey out, I'm going to colour his beard in this same grey. So I'm not going to colour it all. I want his beard to look white. So again, I'm just adding a little bit of shadow where I think it needs to go. Maybe kind of extending some of these little flick lines here to make his beard look a little bit fluffy. And just, yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to do with that, just to add a little bit of something. Same with this, we're going to add it where the shadows would be and just extend those lines a little bit just to emphasize his little moustache here. Okay, and he's got his eyebrows, we can't forget those. Let's just add a little touch to his eyebrows as well. There we go. And that's it. I mean, you could do more, you could add more if you want. I'm keeping it super simple. It just adds a little bit of shadow, makes it look, I don't know, I just think the grey helps it to look whiter, if that makes sense, because, you know, it makes the white pop. Okay, so let's do his skin next. Oh, I forgot to do it around the sides because his beard goes up around here as well. So let's add that in. Add a little bit around the side here and around the bottom where it would be in shadow. And we'll just do the same on this side as well. There we go. Okay, so let's do his face. So I'm going to use, I'm hoping these colours are going to be okay. I'm going to use YR205 and YR110 for his skin. He's got a nice big nose. So, well, I've got the wrong end of that one. We're going to use the darker colour to add his shadows in again. So again, kind of around the top of his head where his hat would be overlapping, where his beard kind of meets his face, there might be a bit of shadow, and a bit of shadow where his nose is kind of sticking out a little bit because he's got a very big nose. And then again, I'm going to go around the edge of his nose. I'm going to emphasize these little bits here. And yeah, just pretty much outlining it with that color, and then I'm going to go in with the lighter color and blend that out a bit. I think that's an okay color for his skin. Might be a little bit orangey. I'm just avoiding his eyes there. Might do something with his eyes in a bit because they look a little bit starey. But I'm going to add a little bit more of that shadow in. just to emphasize it a little bit more. Sometimes it's good to go back in with the darker marker just to kind of emphasize everything. And sometimes when you go over with the lighter marker, it can kind of blend out a little bit too much. Okay, and then I'm going to do his little ear here. Again, just starting with that darker marker and laying in the shadow. Do his mouth the same way. And I'll colour those in with the lighter marker. And then we're going to do his arms here. And I think we need to do his knees as well, his little legs. So this one behind is going to be darker because it's going to be in shadow. It's behind the other one, so we'll add quite a bit of the darker marker to that one and just leave a tiny bit of space. This one, we can just add a little bit in here and then blend out with the lighter one. I might just add a touch more around that bit. So that's his arms. I need to do his belly. So I guess we need to go down his back here. Again, my shadows are all over the place today. I don't really know what's going on with my shadows, but it's okay because the picture's still going to look really cute anyway. I don't think it matters too much. I've just kind of dived in without really thinking about it. So there we go. And then finally his little legs. So I'm going to add some shadow where the shorts would be. Shadow around his knees there. And that's pretty much it. And then just blend that out. I think it's probably, this color combination is probably a slightly too orange for what I really wanted, but it's okay. It doesn't really matter. As I say, it's just a bit of fun. So just blending that out, and then I might just add in a little bit more of shadow there. Just go back in with that darker marker just to re-emphasize that shadow. Okay, so that's his body done. Let's do his armbands next. And I'm going to use yellows for that. So I've got Y2, Y050, and Y030. Sorry, I haven't got those on camera. There we go. And again, starting with my darkest. Gonna lay in the shadows. I'm gonna do this little thing as well. Oh, wrong end. I'm forever doing that as well. And then just, yeah, blend out a little bit. Sometimes I use 2 colors, sometimes I use 3. It kind of just depends. It doesn't really matter. Just, you know, like, as long as you've got a darker and a lighter, it doesn't really matter. This is, as I say, it's all just meant to be a little bit of fun. It's meant to be quick and easy coloring, so don't stress too much. Just have fun with it. And yeah, as long as you find a color, you know, one darker and one lighter, it's bound to work. Okay, so he's got a little bit of his other one poking out over here, so we're just going to add a touch of color to that. It's pretty much hidden. I'm just going to add a little bit in. And then I want to do the paddling pool in the same color as well. So we're going to start that. So I'm going to start with this bottom piece. So when I am working with my alcohol markers, I like to work in sections because it's, as I say, it's good to not let the alcohol marker dry. You need to kind of move it around while it's still wet to make sure that you kind of get those blends nice. So best to work in smaller sections. Okay. So adding shadow to the top and bottom because it's kind of like curved. So the top and bottom kind of curve in, and then the middle bit would be kind of more protruding, if that makes sense. So just going over those And it doesn't matter, I've gone over my flowers a little bit because I'm going to use a slightly darker color on my flowers, so that will probably blend out. So again, it's all about stress-free, don't worry. If you go over the lines, it's no big deal. Okay, let's do this top part. But what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to work in sections. So I'm going to do this tiny bit first. Blend it out. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of just try and work in little bits in between the flowers. So I'm going to work in this bit. So for this, I'm leaving the top lighter because it would be getting the direct sun, if that makes sense. But again, it doesn't really matter. As long as you get some kind of dimension in there, it's going to look good. Okay, this is going to take a little while because there's a bit to do. I'm going to bring that darker color up a little bit higher because there's more space here, so bring it up slightly higher. Again, make sure that you kind of blend over the joins of those. And then bring in the lightest color. It's going to be a nice bright picture, this one. Lots of bright primary colors with the red and the yellow. There'll be a bit of blue in there with the water. I've kind of chosen more turquoisey blues for the water. So I really like to work over the edge of where the previous marker left off and kind of really work into that join to just kind of make it look a little bit more seamless and not quite so, you know, so it doesn't look like a big stripe. You don't want it just to look like stripes of color. You want it to kind of blend in together. Okay, I'm getting there. And again, probably want to do this little bit here. Just adding a little bits of shadow here and there. Like I say, it really does not have to be perfect. Just have fun with it. Okay, I think it's looking kind of cute. I mean, the great thing about all of these images is that it doesn't really matter what you do to them because it's going to look cute anyway, because they're just adorable. And lots of fun. I love R.J.Hampson's kind of sense of humor. He's got quite a good sense of humor, like the way he labels his pictures. You know, they all kind of have funny, quirky little names, and yeah, he seems to have quite a good sense of humor. And just working over those transitions. Now I'm going to end up doing the duck in the same yellows as well, just to save on getting any more colours out. And I think I'm going to add some yellow to my butterflies as well. I can't forget about them. Okay. So let's do the duck while we've got these yellows out. I'm going to leave the eye again. I'm going to try and do something with those eyes though. I don't like that they're just kind of starey. Now, I was thinking there I need to do the center of my flowers too, so I'm just going to use the same yellow for the center of my flowers. Just add a touch of the darker marker in little bits around the edge. Round it out a bit. And then add the final colour in. Okay, so that's my paddling pool. Let's use this yellow on these butterflies while I've got it out. So again, I'm just going to use a little bit on the centers of these little dots. So when I'm colouring a page, I try and limit my colours so that I'm not using all the colours under the sun. So I kind of picked out some colours prior to starting, and I'm just going to use them for everything so that I don't have to use a huge range of colours. I just want to keep things easy and simple, but also, you know, I mean, I think it would look kind of fun going a little bit crazy with the colors on this page, because they are really fun pages. So you could use all the colors in the rainbow, but I tend to just use like the same colors for various elements on the page so that it kind of keeps it more cohesive. Okay, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to do the flowers on my paddling pool, and I'm going to do them in pink. So I've got RV080 and RV030. And we'll kind of add a bit of shadow with this one. Again, I'll just do a few at a time and then blend out. So yeah, this time I'm just using 2 colors. I used 3 for the paddling pool. It kind of also depends on the size of the object that I'm coloring. So the paddling pool was a little bit bigger, so I wanted to use 3. But yeah, it also kind of depends how easy it is to blend the colors that you are using. So sometimes you need more to help that transition and that blend look a bit better. Sometimes 2 is sufficient. So yeah, but you know, play around and see what works for you and whatever you enjoy doing. I think the best thing with alcohol markers is just to try, because the more you use them, the more adept you get at using them, and the easier it becomes to figure out what you want to do with them and how they work best for you. But there are also lots and lots and lots of tutorials and like things like this, color alongs, that you can kind of do to help you practice using them. I love alcohol markers because they're so bright and colorful. They give, you know, such a beautiful vivid color palette, and they are fun to use. It's just, you know, like, it's really simple, easy coloring. It's kind of mindless coloring for me, I guess. I don't know. And like I say, I don't stress too much when I'm using my alcohol markers. It kind of, it'll work or it won't. It's no big deal. And it's quick. It's a lot quicker than doing something in colored pencil. Okay. Kind of jealous of this guy going for his little swim in the morning. He looks like he's having fun. I don't know how cold the water is though. It looks like it might be a little bit cold. Okay. I like his flowery paddling pool too. It's very cute. Okay, we're almost there. 2 more flowers to do. And then while I've got the pinks out, I will do the butterflies. I'll do the rest of the butterflies in pink. Not sure what to do about the body of the butterflies yet. I need to think about that. Maybe I'll use the same colors that I used for his skin for the body of the butterflies. Okay, so let's do the butterflies. So I'm going to do a darker marker towards the base of the butterflies. We can add some fun stuff over the top of these as well. Maybe some stickles or something like that to make them sparkle. Okay, and we'll do the other one. Oops, sorry, bumping the camera. Okay. I don't think I've ever seen any butterflies that look like this in real life, but that's okay, because this is just an imaginary world. All right. So I think, I'm going to use this lightest pink for the inside of his mouth there as well. I think while I'm on the case, I'm going to do the inside of those butterflies with the same colours that I used for his skin. So YR205 and YR110. And, wrong end. Let's just add a little bit of the darker one. I'd probably normally do them like more of a brown colour, but I don't really want to pull any other markers out, so I'll just do them like that. Okay, all that's left really is the water, and I'm going to do that in PB10 and G340, which are kind of more of a turquoisey blue colour rather than, you know, just a true blue. I just thought that would be fun, so I'm going to add some shadow around the base here. This is quite a big area to colour in, so you could definitely do 3 markers here if you wanted, but I figured that 2 would be enough for what I want. Add some shadow around the base of them. Let's see what it looks like. We'll put another bit of shadow in here. And then we'll just blend out with the lighter marker and see how it looks. So I'm going to go in with some gel pen as well so that we can add some highlight details to this. It's amazing what gel pen can do. Okay, I think that's all right. I'm going to just deepen that shadow a little bit. And I'll just go over the edge a little bit to blend it out a bit more. Okay, pretty happy with that. So that's pretty much the colouring done. Let's add in some gel pen detail. So I'm going to use, which one am I going to use today? Right size. Yeah, let's try this one. I'm going to go in with my Jelly Roll, Sakura Jelly Roll white in the size 10. There we go. So I like this size. It's a bit bigger than like the 08 or the 05, obviously. And I just like it because it kind of gives a nice thicker line, which is quite good on something like this. And I'm not very good at doing the gel pen stuff. I just kind of go in willy-nilly and kind of think about, well, I don't really think about anything. I just kind of chuck it in and hope for the best. Yeah, I'm not brilliant at using this, but I just like the effect that it gives. I like the look. I think it kind of adds something to the page if you add it in. So yeah, I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but like I say, I just like the effect of it, so I always add it. There's not too many places to add it, really. We're on the edge of my paddling pool here. A few dots and a few lines always kind of help a little bit. But yeah, I'm not going to add too much more than that. I'm going to add some to the lines in my water. Can't see where that goes. Try and cover up those black lines as much as possible. You can always go over them again with a second layer, because sometimes the kind of line looks a bit grey because it's kind of the first coat never quite covers it up as much as I would like. I did think about putting some glossy accents on the water. I might do that just to make it look a little bit, well, it'll be shiny and dimensional, so I might do that. Okay, so it's looking a bit grey, but not the end of the world. Right, his eyes. I'm going to take, excuse me, not that one, a glaze pen. Where is it? Here it is. I'm going to take a black Sakura Jelly Roll glaze pen, and I'm just going to add some little eyes to him because I feel like his face is a bit starey at the moment. And the same with the little duck. I'm just going to add a little eyeball in there just to make it look a little less starey. I don't know. But that's pretty much it. We can add some glitter. Shall we add some glitter to the butterflies? Let's see. I've got, reaching for it. I've got my diamond stickles, so I can use that for the butterfly wings. Again, it's not a necessary step. It just adds a little bit of something else to kind of, you know, add extra fun to an already fun page. I don't know that you desperately need it, but it's just, I don't know, a little extra. So let's add that in there. Same on this one. Could use this on the water, couldn't you? Could use stickles on the water. But I think I might use some glossy accents on the water. So let's pull out my glossy accents. This is it. If you've never used it before, it's basically a clear dimensional kind of glaze. It's almost like, if it will come out, you've got to leave it to dry for about 24 hours because it will remain wet for some time, and then if you kind of stick anything on top of it, it will squish it and flatten it and make a bit of a mess. But it's a really fun little tool, and it just, like I said, it just adds a little touch of dimension. If I can get it out, I always struggle to get it out. It dries clear. Yeah, it really doesn't want to work for me. It dries clear, and but it's just kind of slightly raised, and it's really good for things like glass, like I'm using it today for water. Yeah, it just I've used it on things like apples before. What else do I use it on? Mostly for glass and things like that, but it's, oh, there we go. Oh, is it going to come out? It did come out for a little minute and then it stopped again. Oh, I think I need to get a new one. Okay, it's really annoying me now. But yeah, it's a fun little extra if I can ever get it working. I think it's really clogged up. Okay, I'm gonna try again. Oh, there we go. And it all splodged out. So yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it's like a really kind of thick glue stuff. It does move water-based markers around though, so if you're using like watercolors or water markers, be a little bit careful with using it, but it's fine on alcohol marker. It works great. And when it dries, like I say, it dries clear, and it just has a nice kind of raised, glassy looking finish to it, which just adds a little bit of a fun element. Okay, I think that's it. So you probably can't see much now with that, but hopefully you can see a little bit of the shine. And like I say, when it dries, it will dry clear, and it just have kind of a bit of a raised, glassy look to it, which will add it to the effect of the water. And there's my butterflies. So that is it. Our third page complete. A lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed this one. I had a lot of fun doing this one. It was super cute. Yeah. So that is Morning Swim. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again next week with our fourth page. Take care, everybody. Bye.